Ep 1, it's 1932. A girl called Carol kneels on a table, surrounded by open books, newspaper clippings, and miscellaneous papers. She is joined by Gustafsson, Germain, vice president of the Daily Days, and apologizes for the mess after he rebukes her for it. When Gustav asks what she was up to, Carol explains that she has been looking for more information about the story, admitting that she cannot stop thinking about the strange events that began in November 1930. Gustav folds a newspaper page and asks if she remembers a previous conversation they had held during a train journey. In a flashback, Carol is shown riding a train and admiring a rainbow through her seat window. Across from her, Gustav is sitting. They talk about the rainbow and how humans perceive things. Carol complains that thinking about something does not change its validity, to which Gustav disagrees. In the present, Gustav asks Carol why she chose 1930 out of all the dates on their timeline as the beginning. When she struggles for a response, Gustav berates her for not having the answers despite her position as his assistant, but offers to help her find said answers nonetheless. Gustav proceeds to highlight the events aboard the Advena Avis and the covered-up tragedy of the flying pussyfoot as possible starting points, though he comments that multiple other instances on the timeline could serve just as well. When he repeats his question, Carol this time has a ready answer. She wanted to make the story easier to understand, so she chose the time when the story was first brought to their attention. Gustav compliments her idea as good. He notes that it is more important to focus on the characters than the timeline. He then presents several individuals as main character candidates. Isaac Diane with his ear freshly cut while Miria Harvest cries out in horror. Lad Russo shooting the child Czesław Mayer aboard the flying pussyfoot. And Luck Gandor described by Gustav as the Gandor family's brilliant young capo gunned down in a hail of bullets. Carol picks up a photograph of a young man and suggests that he could be the main character instead. The scene cuts to the young man, Firo Procenizo, on a Little Italy street, right as he acknowledges a panhandler begging for money. At Carol's pronouncement that Firo is without a doubt main character-ish, Gustav raises an eyebrow. The beggar tries to rob him and attacks him with a knife, leading to him losing his ring finger and pinky, but is shocked when they reattach. Gustav laughs and says that he sees what Carol means by main character-ish. Earlier in the year, Bartolo Renorata orders Gustavo to search for Dallas Genord. Elsewhere, a girl called Eve Genord holds up a different photograph of herself and a younger Dallas and wonders where Dallas has gone. The Renoratas fight a turf war with the Gandor Mafia family, resulting in the attempted murder of Luck Gandor and his friend Firo Procenizo of the Martillo Camorra family. Although the pair receive hundreds of bullet wounds, they completely recover in seconds. Elsewhere, the FBI investigates the body and blood lying by the pussyfoot's tracks. Agents Edward Noah and Bill Sullivan are on the scene. Bill says to Edward that the passenger list in Chicago has confirmed the presence of immortals aboard the train. A scene of Isaac and Czeslaw's healing of their injuries is shown. They find a severely injured Lad Russo lovingly telling Lua Klein that he will kill her. Further down the tracks, men fish crates out of a river as Chain Lafort floats by on a suitcase. After the train pulls into New York, Firo, Anise, and Mesa greet Isaac Diane and Miria Harvant while a woman in fatigues limps into the station and Nice Hollistone supports an injured Jacuzzi Splot. Czesław Mayer also steps off the train. Ep 2, in late 1931, on a busy platform at Chicago's Union Station, where the luxury Transcontinental Express flying pussyfoot is preparing to depart from Chicago for New York in short order. A conductor by the name of Tony directs passersby from the train's caboose, smartly dressed in the train's custom white conductor's uniform. An elderly man marvels at the train, remarking on its nebula origins and unusual design, including how first class is up near the front rather than the rear. His wife shares none of his good cheer, convinced by her sixth sense that they should not board the train. If her intuition is correct, many people will die during the journey. Those who survive will be those with good luck and those who are not human. At the tail end of 1930, Isaac and Miria are mining for gold in a Californian mine shaft, or, as Isaac puts it, they are stealing from the earth. 5 months later, Miria wonders why they are digging for gold when gold is usually found via river panning. Isaac freezes and claims that only amateurs pan for gold. He assures her that he recently spotted a centipede, which can only mean good fortune. 4 months later, Miria informs Isaac that they have received a letter from Ennis. In the letter, Ennis writes that she and others have been thinking of Isaac and Miria daily since they left New York nearly a year ago, and miss them dearly. She invites Isaac and Miria to come back and visit since she has heard that they have not been very successful in their mining endeavors. After receiving a letter from Ennis in New York City, they wish to return to Manhattan and, realizing they have no money, decide to rob a train. Instead, Isaac and Miria, dressed as Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb, attack 2 mafia hitmen in Chicago and steal a black bag full of money, and take the pussyfoot to New York. Nice, Jacuzzi and their gang, along with Chesla, Lad, and Lua, Senator Barium's wife Natalie and daughter Mary, in an orchestra that includes Chain LaFort, also board the train while the woman in fatigues sneaks on. Two conductors, a young redhead and an older dark-haired one, relieve a retiring conductor from his shift. Shortly after, the retiring conductor is killed, and his uniform is stolen by a red-headed Russo. In the dining car, Nice, Jacuzzi, Chesla, Natalie, and Mary hear Isaac and Miria tell the tale of the rail tracer, a monster that eats train passengers. Jacuzzi is scared witless, but John Panel, the train's bartender and a member of Jacuzzi's gang, reveals the young conductor knows how to avoid being eaten. Jacuzzi runs off to find the young conductor, and runs into Lad, who recognizes him. Meanwhile, the older conductor holds the young conductor at gunpoint. Ep 3, the year is 1932. Eve Genord overlooks a group of men dredging the bottom of the Hudson, her prim, elegant attire rather out of place considering her surroundings. Her steward Benjamin hands her the coat and warns her that staying out in the salty air for too long is unhealthy, but she only thanks him and says that she wants to wait all the same. With a look of aching sadness, her thoughts turn to her missing brother Dallas Genord. In 1931, employees of the Daily Days are hard at work when two shady men pay the company a visit. Nicholas Wayne hurries over to the front desk and welcomes them, introducing himself as responsible for the newspaper's English edition. They are from Runnerata and Nicholas recognizes them. They ask for information about Dallas, and Nicholas asks what Runnerata want with Dallas, and they get into an altercation. In 1930, three ruffians follow Dallas down an alleyway, stopping to confront a man who identifies himself as a member of the Runnerata family. Dallas is beating a Runnerata member, but Luck stops him. Luck grabs Dallas' wrist and tells him to knock it off before he commits a murder. Dallas asks who the hell Luck is, and in lieu of an answer, Luck asks Dallas' group to leave. He informs the Runnerata that he is on Gandor family turf, that the Gandors do not take kindly to the Runnerata name, and releases Dallas' wrist only when the Runnerata leaves. Dallas sneers that this was not their business, Gandor or otherwise, and departs with his friends. Berga and Luck watch them leave and wonder who they were. Aboard the Pussyfoot in 1931, Lad tells Lua that he will kill everyone in the world and then slowly kill her as a sign of his love. He leaves to check the dining car and bumps into Jacuzzi. He remembers that Jacuzzi is wanted by the Russos and has Lua follow him. In 1930, two Martillo accidentally set a warehouse on fire. Beneath the warehouse, an old man named Barnes has created an immortality elixir but is only able to escape with 2 bottles. In 1931, Eve visits the Daily Days, which is also an information broker, for information on Dallas. In 1930, Phiro sees the warehouse fire and goes to investigate. He bumps into Anice and chases her to try and return a button she dropped. Instead, he finds Dallas attacking Barnes and incapacitates him. In 1931, aboard the Pussyfoot, Nice asks Nick, a member of her gang, to take care of the dining car, which he takes to mean holding the passengers hostage. In 1932, the Daily Days are unable to help Eve. In 1930, Dallas catches Barnes once again, kills him, and takes the bottles of elixir from him, mistaking them for alcohol. Aboard the Pussyfoot, the Russos, the orchestra members who are the Lemures in disguise, and Nick attempt to take the dining car hostage. Nick, only armed with a knife, sees that the Russos and Lemures are better armed and flee. In 1930, Anice finds Barnes' recovering body. On the Pussyfoot, Jacuzzi discovers the conductor's mutilated bodies. Ep 4, in 1931, Lad Russo hears gunfire in the corridor of one of the flying Pussyfoot's second-class cars. Nick runs past him, screaming to his boss that he did not know that the situation would turn out like this. Lad skips a little down the hall, gradually breaking out into a run in his eagerness to see what has transpired in the dining car. 10 hours earlier in Chicago, Don Placido Russo of the Russo family throws objects at 2 of his subordinates, furious that they would give him a fairy tale report on the robbery of the Russos' profits for the month. One of them insists that the report is true. A pair of robbers dressed in the uniforms of Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb stole the money. Placido refuses to believe it, but the men said that they interrogated the man transporting the money and believed him to be telling the truth. He also learns that one of his men was attacked by Jacuzzi. Placido decides to go after the robber duo first and orders his men to put heat on every couple in the city. His grief is compounded when Lad tells him that he plans to hijack the Pussyfoot simply for the carnage it will create. In the dining car, the woman in fatigues climbs out of a window, and Lad learns that the Lemures are trying to hijack the train as well. It is revealed that the Lemures are hijacking the train in order to get Senator Barium to release their imprisoned leader. In 1932, Eve leaves the Daily Days while the 2 receptionists, Nicholas Wayne and Elian Duga, note that the information on Dallas is classified because he may be immortal. In 1930, Isaac and Miria encounter Phiro and Mazo outside of the hat shop. After buying various hats and masks, they dream about a wealthy future but are hit by a slow-moving car. In the car, Ennis ignores the pair and drives Shillard Quates to a secret society of old men. Aboard the Pussyfoot, the lemurs report to Goose, the lemur who organized the hijacking. Jane leaves the car, and Goose admits that he plans to kill her. In 1930, Shillard announces to the secret society that the elixir has been perfected. With it, they will not age, which was not the case with the incomplete elixir they consumed. He tells Ennis to fetch Barnes, who has it. Ennis reaches the burning warehouse and runs into Firo. In 1931, Nice and a member of her gang, Donnie, search for Jacuzzi in the conductor's car while something watches them from outside the train. And that's all for today, guys. Stay tuned to get more new videos. Stay safe and keep watching.